The dating techniques you must know to be more successful in dating event. Dating needs techniques. In order to be more successful in dating, you need to know what you should do and not do, what you should say and not say. Also, the timing, the location are the criteria you need to consider. Let me tell you how you can be more successful in speed dating. Time and location. For the first meeting, choose to meet on Wednesday night with the same person 3 times on 3 different occasions, and each time should not exceed 3 hours. The best time for the first blind date is around 8 o'clock on Wednesday night. Avoiding meals and going to work the next day can be used as a reason to retreat early. If both parties are satisfied, they can make an appointment to see each other on the weekend, only 2 days later, and the rhythm is just right. Choose 3 different occasions to meet. The first time you can choose a coffee shop, which is quiet and suitable for chat. The second time you can choose sports occasions, you can find more exercise. The third time you can choose a relatively private place for in-depth understanding. But be sure to pay attention to safety. We met 3 times. The first time was to understand, the second time was to have fun, and the third time to make a decision. The first time is at most an eye and a basic understanding. After all, dreamy love at first sight is rare. If you see 3 sides and feel inappropriate, then don't meet again. The blind date should not exceed 3 hours, even if you are satisfied with him. Nor should it be less than 2 hours, even if you are disappointed and want to leave as soon as you meet. Grasp the time, not long or short, and giving others opportunities is also your own opportunity. 30 seconds and 4 minutes policy. Prime time for blind dates, 30 seconds and 4 minutes. Psychologists have found through research that the prime time to form a first impression is 30 seconds and 4 minutes. When meeting for the first time, within 30 seconds of getting along with each other, they can judge whether the date with you will be pleasant. Often there is no need to speak. It only takes 4 minutes and the first impression of you is almost formed. The research team of Arthur Aaron, a psychologist at the State University of New York, concluded in his paper, The Production of Interpersonal Intimacy, Experimental Procedures and Some Initial Findings, that people stare at each other for 4 minutes and they will feel love. People must pay attention to the first 30 seconds and 4 minutes when dating. The first blind date is best for chatting, travel and women. Many people are troubled. What topics should I talk about on a first date? Experts believe that we talk about travel rather than movies, and women rather than men. Psychologists have found through experiments that the number of men and women who talk about travel is willing to follow up interactions is twice that of those who talk about movies. Tourism allows both parties to have an open discussion, talk about past travel experiences, and talk about future travel plans, making people feel that life is full of longing and hope. Talking about movies involves a lot of culture and value, and it is easy to fall into an awkward situation without speculation. Blind date and chat skills, self-exposure. Psychologists have found that during a date, those conversations that fail are that the 2 parties only exchange information about their surroundings, but they do not involve themselves at all. The gradual exposure of inner privacy can make the other person feel more and more liked and trusted, and it also proves that the relationship between the 2 is getting better and better. At the same time, the other party is more willing to open up. If the other person also exposes a lot of inner privacy, then he himself will like you more. In addition, sharing happiness and useful information with each other will also help to build a sense of mutual intimacy. For example, ask the other person or tell about the last time you laughed. Red is everyone's sexy color. Men and women are the same. We also associate certain behaviors with visual symbols. For example, romance is strongly associated with red. In an experiment, women would rate the attractiveness of a series of photos of men on a scale of 1 to 9. The men in these photos are dressed in different colored clothing, and the photos are also placed on different colored background boards. The results show that photos wearing a red shirt or placed on a red background board will score higher than other photos with the same conditions but different colors. Don't talk about ladies. Men will also be impressed by a red-dressed beauty with flaming red lips. Where to look more on blind dates? The danger triangle. The phenomenon of liking the more familiar things is called the seeing more effect in psychology. Psychologist Charance did an experiment. He showed the subjects photos. Some photos appeared more than 20 times, some more than a dozen times, and some once or twice. It turned out that the subjects preferred the photos that were seen more often. However, where to look at the date? You can't just look at it casually. Psychologists believe that it is more appropriate to focus on the triangle of the opponent, and it is also the dangerous triangle, often referred to in medicine. The triangle formed by taking the center of the opponent's brow as the top angle and the two cheekbones as the bottom angle is called the focus area by psychologists. When talking to the other party, if your eyes keep drifting away from this triangle area, you will leave people with a feeling of intense attention and your own focus, which will make people feel good about you. On the contrary, if you stare into the opponent's eyes, it will make him hostile from the beginning. Exhausting more energy will make the couple more intimate. Researchers have consumed the energy of the subjects through a series of different experiments, and found that after consuming a lot of energy in one task, people will reduce their self-control in the second task. On this basis, the experimenter chose the partner who had established a new relationship as the subjects, and asked him to concentrate on watching the video. At the same time, researchers are distracting them. In the follow-up results collection, the researchers found that those partners who experienced attention control tasks would behave more intimately. In other words, two people going through the subway in the morning and evening rush hours or queuing for a long time on holidays or playing for a day and other behaviors that consume a lot of energy can also make couples feel more intimate. From this point of view, dating cannot be too easy, or choose activities that consume a lot of energy, which is conducive to enhancing intimacy. Blind date, hidden rules, know in my heart. Paying the bill. Boys may pay the bills out of courtesy. Girls paying the bills are definitely not good, and they don't want to be involved in the future. The AA system is both possible. Keep the phone. It may be polite for boys to ask for the phone. For girls to ask for the phone, most of them are attracted to it. If no one keeps anyone, it's mostly useless. 3 words women refuse. You are a good person. I don't want to fall in love for the time being. Let's be friends. 3 words that boys fancy. You are so cute. You are beautiful. You have the opportunity to hang out together. To every blind date. This is your 3rd blind date, no matter how many times the fact is. Is he interesting to you? These body language must be understood. Does the other party mean to you? How can we understand it? Dr. Jeffrey Hall of the University of Kansas studied 102 heterosexual men and women, and found that, for people who are interesting to you, tar often shows obvious encouragement or approval to you at first, and then becomes eloquent and keeps the palm of your hand. It is open. This is an obvious sign that the other person has a good impression of you. Conversely, there are also some performances that can show that the other person lacks interest in you, such as placing your legs crossed at any stage of the conversation. Inadvertently touching one's arms, chest, or hair is also a sign that the other person lacks interest in you, and some slightly mocking jokes have the same meaning. Dr. Hall also pointed out that for anyone, as long as they are joking with each other, no matter how they are, it has a negative effect on TAR's own attractiveness index.